And we're going live.
We're going live.
We're doing
We
It's
are live.
happening.
From Vancouver City, it's Saturday night. No, wait, Sunday. Sunday night. Yeah, you're going to just have to go that way.
Oh, no.
You're just going to have to
So,
do it.
a
See,
weird
this guy
quirk.
just- What?
When I clicked on the link to our video to watch it while we're recording here,
Yes.
it says that there's no views on this video and it's from 6 days ago. That's super weird.
There, I
Literally
have
live right
my
now.
Stream.
Last
I don't know.
video we did went live appropriately. There was no problems with that, so I have no idea why those statistics are being given out. That's
Yeah.
odd. You know what? I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to throw up a picture of the knife we're going to talk about while people are stumbling in.
All right. I'm stumbling with my mount, but that's because I'm airing from Vancouver City. It's Saturday night. No, Sunday. Sorry.
Twice. You did that twice.
It wasn't intentional at all. I don't know what you're talking about. It's
I'm not jealous. That's okay. Or envious, as the case may be.
Yeah, as far as weather goes, Jiminy Crickets, it's fucking February is very different in the west coast of BC than it is in Alberta, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hummingbirds? You were saying?
Yeah, I saw a hummingbird today. It was pretty. It was all cute and
So
stuff.
it was minus 20. It was below minus 20 with wind chill. It was like minus 22 or 23 or something on my way down to work. That's
I think it's going to be minus 27 when we're heading into work tomorrow, so that should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway.
Yeah, I think by the time I get back in town, it's going to be like minus 11,
I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit. I'm not salty.
This guy over here needs to get out of stream.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh,
How you
man,
doing?
what am I going to go in the bathroom?
Stand in the far corner and look into it.
He's just going to be sitting over my shoulder the whole time.
Camera you got over there.
Superman, this is an old as shit phone, seriously. Anyway, I'm in a hotel room. Torque and Devin sitting there for anyone who can see us live right now. Jesus Christ.
Oh
Hi.
shit, you're on TV right now?
Yeah, we're totally live.
Hi,
Dude.
Examinator. So don't say anything too untowards, says the guy who can't stop dropping F-bombs.
Yeah. F-bombs on the line.
What's that?
Said F-bombs on the line.
In a straight line, no less.
Well, I guess we do talk about like animal death and stuff like that a lot too. Had
There
to
is
bring
that.
that in just for a quick moment.
It's gotta drag PETA into it, kicking and screaming.
I was going to say, PETA and us have an agreement right now. Don't be messing with that shit, man. Like,
They even sent hummingbirds as a peace offering. Dennis didn't even eat it. So, you know, that really says how far we've come.
I didn't quarter it out. I didn't like do anything. I said hello and went on my way.
How many steps do you think you would have to take to burn off the calories of one hummingbird?
One.
It's got to be like eating a cotton ball, right?
Yeah, are we talking body ratio or are we talking actual calories? Because they probably only weighs 13 calories, but their body is probably only 80. So
How fast their heartbeats are going. It's like their body's got to be burning up when you try and chew them.
What calories they're worth or what's in their stomach.
I'm just assuming that Dennis is like leaping up into the air, mouth agape, to try and snap at this poor hummingbird. Just
Oh, I think
exactly.
It's all feathers. There's no meat there. Come on.
Oops, all feathers. Yeah.
It's just feathers and beak. That's not a meal. Stanson, I'm 357. Thanks for joining us. Not sure about the whole bus ride thing. I'm totally flew, which is totally. There was a joke the other day I heard about planes are now becoming the buses of the sky as far as the clientele goes, and I don't disagree.
he says while talking about the flight that he just took.
Correct. Oh yeah, for sure. Look at the riffraff they allow on that shit. I tell you.
They don't even bother to check for all the knives he's carrying anymore. Just like, yeah, just get it.
I have stopped caring about what I bring, and I still don't bring crazy stuff, but like as far as quality goes, I definitely brought some stuff with me on this trip that I was like, no, those are pricey things, but I think my role on this particular trip is I brought things that were replaceable.
Mhm.
So if I did lose one to an airport somewhere along the way type of thing, it wasn't a discontinued model that I was going to have a bitch of a time trying to get it back or something like that. My H&K Access was actually normally one that I like to use as kind of a travel work knife, beat the crap out of it, whatever. And yeah, I didn't bring it, so I brought other things instead. So
You want to talk about what you did bring? Maybe
Oh,
something you're
well,
carrying today.
as far as what I was carrying today, I mean, I carry it every day, but I figured I'd post it because, yeah, I miss my girlfriend, and it's a knife that we all carry. So yeah, I'm carrying the Dragonfly. As sucky as that may sound. Shut up. You love your girlfriend.
No, you feel emotions.
No, you feel. And the water was pretty tonight as I was walking away from the convention hall, so I got a shot. So
It ain't bad.
yeah,
Ain't bad at
I
all.
will make a second quick note though, being over in Vancouver as well. I did send Joe a second picture.
Yeah, I'm just bringing that guy up now.
There's been a small war going on all weekend long with a particular individual. We'll just wait for the picture to come up. This goddamn seagull, I tell you. He's coming onto our deck. First night we were here, he flapped against the glass and actually tried to like sneak onto our deck and hit the outside of our deck balcony window. And he's been sitting on a ledge for the last 3 days, just waiting. Me and him have had words several times about him not coming back. I also got a picture of the pretty mountain Whistler. That's actually Whistler in behind the seagull there.
But who are we kidding? We're here for the seagull.
Was he trying to steal your food or like?
I think he would just saw like some random stuff on the deck, like we had left a couple things out there, like beer cases. I think he was just coming to investigate. He was like, "People are there. There's an open screen door. I'm coming in."
It's probably food.
Yeah.
And the flapping of wings against glass, like plexiglass, is so much fun. So yeah.
That seems
Anyway,
fun.
yeah.
He's gonna come back at 3 in the morning to scare the shit out of you. Bang
Yeah,
this
moral
pin
of
on
the
the side.
story is, I bet you it's a better meal than a hummingbird. I think that's the moral here.
Better?
Probably
I mean, maybe a lower
more.
quality. There's more. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Slow cook it, 185 degrees. You saw the barbecue pictures. We still got some of that sauce. I will do it if I have to.
If you base the quality of a meal only exclusively on the quantity thereof,
You may as well just be eating
Did
McDonald's
you
at that
see
point.
the picture that Devin sent you of the meal we had? The quality versus or equals quantity is definitely well played out in that particular picture.
No doubt.
fun fact, my brother once caught a seagull while fishing.
That's not fun.
No, he was
My
10.
older brother snagged a loon.
Nah.
Well, the loon snagged it. It's not his fault he dove down. He was like, that looks like a small fish. And it wasn't. It was my brother's lure. So
My brother was fishing with a minnow and cast it, and a young gull grabbed it out of the air.
Oh no shit.
Right.
Then he had to reel it in so they
That's
could
like-
get the
yeah,
lip
yeah.
out of its mouth.
That's like the fun bald eagle snatching the bird
Oh.
type of videos that we've been seeing lately. Yeah. So, quick aside there, Zamanate is carrying his Leatherman Wave and Black on Black Pacific Salt 2. I
Hey,
have a Black on White Pacific Salt 2.
Wave plus. Don't
It
sell
is.
them short. Plus.
Yeah, that's right. I get to pay $15 for some replaceable wire cutters instead of just having Leatherman replace it for free after 2 to 3 months. So,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
and a good segue, Stanson's flipping his bird. So think of that kind of all ties together with the whole seagull thing. It's, and
Have you
then the Wave
flipped
Plus.
the seagull the bird?
Don't know how to respond to that.
I'm asking.
Someone else. What are you carrying?
I guess I'll go. Yeah.
Either.
Honeymoon phase isn't quite over for me yet. I've been playing with it a lot. The Buck Marksman has been hanging around. Hey, Paul? Hey. No.
You've been playing with it a lot.
I have been. Because it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, that's a good picture. Good for you. Good for you.
Look at Joe putting in the smallest amount of effort.
No. We'll get to the smallest amount of effort.
We got a spit take. It's been a year and a half.
So close. Oh, good thing the bottle was still up.
That's awesome.
I thought it would be Paul, honestly. I thought one of us would get Paul before one of us got, but well, all right. I know when I've been beat.
I still like the fact that this knife has an adjustable like lock interface.
And I've already had to adjust it.
Oof.
But that being said, now that I've adjusted it, it's absolutely perfect. No blade play any direction. And like
Nice.
drop cutty action. Like that's stupid. This is Buck. Buck made this. That doesn't seem right.
You know, on an off week, you know we're gonna review that knife, and I am gonna Nigel the fuck out of it.
I know you will. I know you will.
I probably will too, but there are some things that I like about it.
There's a couple nice things. There's a couple cool things about it. Oh my god, I don't like that knife. So.
That's fair. It's weird. I will say though, side by I don't have it right with me. That's too bad. But right next to my ZT-804, this is just a half-inch smaller version of that knife, in a lot of ways. Obviously, Tonto. The flipper's not quite as nice, but still, the profile's really similar.
So now you know what to aim for, Dennis, as far as like heights that you need to knock him back from with the marksman.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You know?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Paul, what are you carrying? Is it an umbrella?
No. It's a bedlam.
That's even worse.
Devin's messing with an umbrella over on the other side, trying to distract me as I'm Eric. So it's
Very nice.
Not really, but let's continue the stream anyway.
Not great.
So, a bedlam, you says. Oh no, that's not minimal effort. You took at least 3 pictures there. Like
I did take 3 pictures.
They're actually decidedly from different angles too. You didn't just crop into the same picture 3 times.
It didn't just cut out.
I thought about it.
Of course you did.
Is one of those close-ups showing us how deep that deep carry pocket clip is?
How deep it's not.
Yeah, there's that. It's showing off the back facer a little bit.
Action.
It's a little hard to tell, but yeah.
Hey Joe, the next time you design a knife, can you put a pocket clip a third of the way up the handle?
So
Dude, the thing is,
it's funny you mentioned that.
What was that, Paul?
I said this handle is very long. It's only like halfway up.
That's better.
The worst part is I've had people ask about putting a pocket clip on my friction folder, and one of the common things for friction folder pocket clips to do is be here so that this whole fucking thing sticks up out of your pocket.
Yeah, you bet.
I think that's entirely the wrong decision to make, but whatever. It's not my decision to make.
Spidey drop a friction folder with the tab?
No, because there's too much friction. I mean, if you loosened it off, sure, but no.
Terrible.
Well,
there is an argument to be made for being able to grab your knife.
It's one of the things I do actually like about the smock is that's very easy to lift out of the pocket without thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine when you're standing, but as soon as you sit down, it becomes like apparent that things get squished around a little bit.
Yeah.
Really?
Quite honestly, I
never run into that.
I notice it. Yeah.
This swapping the clip and going back pocket carry.
Oh, I see. You're just messing with everything by back pocket carrying it. Gotcha.
I'm thinking about. I haven't done.
Yeah, man, but that'd be so awkward to draw from a lefty position, wouldn't it?
No,
No, I guess not, because you're kind of
you just put your.
you gotta like coil your hand backwards around the knife though. That's the only
Paul's
thing.
used to the reach around, so it's fine. It's
I wasn't gonna make the joke, but
Look, it's polite.
someone got to. Jesus.
it's polite.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
It's
It's the right thing to do.
the right thing, really? Okay. Well.
And
It's
I
certainly
can't-
a thing you could do.
It's the thing to do.
I can't open this knife without commenting on the fact that it makes me feel like I'm carrying the weapon from the old Beastmaster movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Only if you learn how to throw it.
Is there a good way to throw the bedlam?
No.
Right
I'm
into
gonna
a
guess
trash can?
underhand, like my La Fontaine. It's got the clip. It's going to come up into the the point. Yeah, that's the way to go. I want shout outs from whoever else is in the chat because I know Stanton and Zaminator have said hi, but if anyone else is joining us, Black Frost, Once Upon a Calvin, BB, and I said Once Upon a Calvin. You heard me.
Once upon a Calvin.
Don't worry about it. Well, shit.
Anyway, so yeah, Mah-Hawk, you say?
Yeah. Mah-Hawk, your hawk, our hawk.
Okay, so let me
Mah-Hawk.
just preface this with a quick little cutting edge. Got a whole bunch of new CRKT models.
Indeed.
There it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check them out. There might be up on the website. I don't know. The guy that actually knows is next to me, and it's the one time that he's not bugging the shit out of me right now. Is when I actually need to ask him if shit is up on the website. He probably doesn't know. But yeah.
It's not there yet. It will be there soon.
In store, come play with them because I want to
Yeah.
handle them in person, and I know that
So
playing with them is going to be different than seeing them with
Yeah.
pictures, right?
Absolutely. That's
I
always the case with CRKT. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I will say though, I don't know necessarily how Paul feels about them, but the batch of CRKT stuff that we got in the folders, I'm pretty impressed for the majority of what we got. And I think the Mah-Hawk falls into that category as well. Nicer than I was expecting.
Okay, so just from the picture that you just threw up on the live stream, I'll say right now that the edge has much less belly sweep than I thought it was going to. That
In
has
this picture, it looks really straight, but I think there is more
Yeah.
curvature.
Let me pull up a size.
the angle of the picture that you sent, because when you're looking at CRKT's
There you go.
picture, it does look like it has a bit of
Yeah.
a belly. Right?
Here's a picture of it next to a dragonfly because I remembered this time. And that'll give you a
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
right.
that's still pretty straight.
yeah. So
Shout out to the
there's
dragonfly.
there's a very slight curve. What's not as well translated in this photo, thanks to the shadow underneath the knife, is that it's kind of a Kiridashi style knife. With the blade it's not like this guy where it's fairly in line with the rest of the handle. It's actually offset a little bit further than that. So it's not like
It
you have a
looks
ton of belly.
Like
but
almost Spidey Shaft type of.
yeah, but not as badly as the Spidey shaft was.
Yeah, just a hint of Spidey Shaft. It's
Yeah.
like,
Just a little.
It's a sprinkling of Spidey Shaft.
Yeah.
you throw in a silent Z like Marcin Sleesh, and you don't tell him where it is. You just put one in there.
Just flip it in.
That kind of offset. Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent. Also, not something I couldn't quite get in photos. It's a very deep hollow grind. Behind the edge.
Okay, so that's a good contrast with the Dragonfly being like just as flat grind as it is
Yeah.
compared to that hollow. Those two blade shapes, when you look at them side
Yeah.
by side, you can tell. That
From the
Mah-Hawk,
shadow for sure.
it's
What
all
I mean,
buck 110. It looks like.
what I
almost,
mean
right?
was, I was trying to take photos of it edge on like this to try and get a sense of how thick it was right at the beginning of the grind. But it's like no joke. It's probably maybe not quite as thin as the smock is behind the edge, but it's damn close. Like,
That's interesting. That's
this
interesting.
this is a better hollow grind than I was expecting out of CRKT, but maybe I shouldn't have been. A better example that came to mind. It's actually very much like the Nerk tie, maybe a little bit thinner than that actually. And because
Looks
there's
good,
yeah, there's a pretty thin little hollow. What else can I say about it? The texture. So this is something that I know Dennis isn't going to be able to comment on just yet, but for me, the texture, while tacky when you're like actually putting pressure on the handle, lightly brushing it, it caused the hairs on the back of my neck to stand up. Like it's just the wrong kind of texture. It's like, oh, that feels off. So that really bugged me. But actually holding and like pretending to use the knife, like no, it feels fine.
Okay, let's back this train up a little bit when it comes to texture. Let's jump back. Let's jump back here a second to the guy who hasn't got a chance to play with it. I'm gonna ask you questions because you sons of bitches have got to play with it. D2 stability hologrind behind the edge. Like, was this a concern?
This knife is really interesting to me because the hologrind is hollowest, like it's thinnest, and then it thickens back out to the transition into the secondary bevel. So it actually like fully scoops out before
it does.
What?
It does the Sabenza thing, where like it catches on your way back off of the grind. I think is what Paul's trying to say.
It's a very small amount, but I think it's going to make it extremely slicey because everything that gets beyond the bevel is gonna meet no resistance at all until it gets to the back of the knife.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, again, with D2, are we comfortable with the stability with that kind of thinness behind the edge?
Well, and that's what I was gonna say is I think that
What's that? Yes.
But I think because it thickens out back out ever so slightly, that was the consideration into the fact that it's D2 and hey, it might get chippy, blah, blah, blah. By bringing it back out ever so slightly, you get the stability at the edge while still getting a really good slicing knife with the reduced resistance behind it.
Honestly, I don't know. D2 isn't exactly the toughest steel out there, but it's not like it's super duper chippy to begin with either. Like people overestimate its toughness due to marketing hype, I think, but I don't think a hollow grind is going to be the worst option in the world. This isn't a knife I'm going to be kinking into stuff and then twisting out and causing, stress fractures and shit. I think this is more of like a medium use,
Yeah, it doesn't, like 3.2 is a healthy size blade.
Yeah.
As far as size goes, because I haven't handled it again, right? But it does look, in comparison with the Dragonfly, like it might be slightly smaller than. Like I want to put it into a mini Griptilian size from the looks of things, but
that's about right. That's just about correct. Yeah.
I was going to say in an office environment, it'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but this thing is also spring assisted. So I haven't seen it taken apart. I haven't taken it apart myself, so I can't verify if it's like the squiggly spring that the Ritual, the the M16s, and etc. have, but I'm assuming it's about the same. And it's on ball.
It's doubled down with the IKBS as well, right?
I was just gonna say, there's also the ball bearing, so it's a happy knife. Like holy shit, the action on this thing is better than any Kershaw I've ever handled.
It snaps open really easily, and it closes super lightly. It's really nice. It's like, not a fight to close it against.
The load when you're closing, there's barely any pressure on it. It's quite nice. Let me see if I have another picture here. Yeah, the closed front.
I can see it being really good for people with like reduced mobility in their hands.
Oh yeah. And this isn't the type of flipper where, like, if you're going to contrast against something like the Buck Marksman, where it's quite sharp and, like, there's a shelf. This one has more like a ramp. And that jimping, while it looks sharp in the photo, never really bit, because it doesn't take much pressure to get this knife to start to open. But the spring is still sturdy enough that, like, I don't think you could really shake it open very easily.
That's really good geometry in the action.
Yeah, given that this is an assisted knife, I don't mind when flipper tabs do this, because I know I've bitched about that in the past, where it's like, come on, it's got to hook onto your finger and actually grab you. But for me, I think that mostly holds true with manual flippers. In this case, yeah, it felt good to actuate. And the size was really good. You were saying about mini Griptilian size, and that's where this fits. It's super nice. And speaking of mini Griptilians, I was thinking, like, for the dollar value that this knife MSRP's for, I can't think of much else that really competes with it. Like, I don't know if I want to say that I'd rather carry this than a Delica, but I might rather carry this than a Delica.
Compared directly against like a Pilar 3, same steel, same company even. Which one would you rather go?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Maybe this guy. Maybe, but that's mostly due to the blade. The hollow grind, I really, really like the way they did the hollow grind on it. If I thought it was going to be abusing the knife, then maybe I'd go with the Pillar 3. But I also am not a huge fan of the way CRKT typically does their frame locks compared to their liner locks. So, yeah, there's that too.
Okay, on to the other elephant in the room. How the hell is the pocket clip?
The pocket clip is dope. So couple things. They do the big thing that everyone likes on custom and mid-tech clips. They got the ceramic ball bearing inset in the steel sheet. And it's a deep carry clip, actually, once again, very similar to the Buck Marksman, the way it folds over and screws onto the butt end, which I have a photo of.
Get that picture of the butt end, Joe.
What the hell did I label this thing as? Centering, I think. Yeah. So you can see it come over here with the torque screw. And it's also, the centering was bang on. In both the models I looked at. So, oh wow, that's way too zoomed in. But anyway, it fits very nicely in that channel. Screw across the top, and it's reversible.
Completely reversible, yeah.
Completely reversible. This is probably my favorite type of
Well, thank God it's not only 3/4 reversible. That would be awkward. It looked like a fucking Razel all of a sudden.
There you go.
This is actually a pretty good picture of how thin that edge is. Like that's a slice little blade.
CRKT doesn't get enough credit for their hollow grinds when they do them right, and I think this is an instance of where they do it really, really right. Or whatever factory makes it for them. As far as the deep carry clip, though, this is probably my favorite type of deep carry. There's a lot of SOG clips out there. I think Buck makes a few too, where it extends past the rim of the knife, so it actually sits below the lip of the pocket, which, sure, it's super deep, but actually trying to get that thing out, the fabric can bunch up. I much prefer something like this, where it just goes to the edge, and that's it. And that's what the Mah-Hawk does.
So the ball doesn't roll, though, on this thing.
No, none of the balls roll on any of the pocket clips. You know what? Even as I'm saying that, I'm sure there must be one that does, but I think the general thing is that none of the ball bearings actually roll inside the pocket clips, because that would imply that they're loose in the clip. So if you bent the clip up, the ball bearing would just come flying out. Unless you had like a secondary stabilizer, but
yeah,
anyway.
I have heard in the custom world at least.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
I
was gonna say, like,
really high spring pressure on the clip, and with the ball rolling, you don't feel that pressure. It just keeps the knife in place. So you don't have to worry about overextending the clip because it's got a lot of extra power to it. But you also have minimal contact between the clip and your pants.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that just mean that it just rolls right out of your pants? Like, you wouldn't have much resistance? I guess for a custom, it doesn't matter as much. You're pretty conscious about what...
When it's static, it wants to stay in place, and when you get it moving, it wants to come out of your pocket, I think is...
Okay.
Well, and I think with the milled titanium clip, which is what I've seen, I think any of the customs where I have, like, read about, like, the milled titanium keeps it much stiffer, like it does on a Wee Knife Theroma or on my Rhino, or like a bunch of So,
okay, I could see that. I did have one thing that stood out as a little strange about the knife. What was this? Clip screw, I think. Um, maybe I didn't put that one up. There we go.
Stanson is asking if you got your new M16 there, Joe.
Oh, no, it didn't actually arrive. So the M16, I think it's the 03 DB or whatever the suffix is for that, the little spear point, actually was one of the, I think it was the only thing that didn't actually end up shipping. So, but I did get to play. I did get to play with the full size. Holy shit, that's probably the nicest standard folding knife that CRKT's ever made. Spoiler alert, but
They have
goddamn,
really dialed in the deadbolt on that knife. It's
dude,
really nice.
fuck.
Yeah.
And being able to rely on the spring tension for the assist as the detent, it's so nice. Anyway,
We
that's a
can talk
different
about
knife,
that knife
but
more later, though. Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into that at some other point. So you can actually see the threading for the screw for the clip in what is a steel plate that's inside the backspacer in the liners of this knife. I don't think it's the end of any worlds. It does mean that I would be a little bit more cautious about cleaning that area out before I swap my clip from one side to the other. But if I'm righty, I'm not changing it from factory, and if I'm lefty, I'm only switching it once. So I don't think this is really a big deal, but it's something to be aware of.
Yeah, I can see that's a little hinky. Yeah.
It's just weird that you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I was a lefty, I think that'd probably be the first thing I did with most of my new knives.
I don't think I actually took a good picture of it, or rather, yeah, I didn't. That's unfortunate. But
Shout out
there's
to Dick Richards in chat too. What up?
hello. Well, I guess this shows off well enough. So that tube right here in what's about the center of the screen, that's it's at the
Lanyard.
top of the screen, but when you guys catch up with it, yeah, it's a lanyard pin. So it's one of those designs where I'm just using the Buck Marksman for everything today. Nope, it's not on here. You can actually loop the lanyard through without having to deal with the lanyard hole that goes through your knife. It's a nice setup. More and more companies are using this, and I think everybody should. This is a really great solution to having a lanyard, and honestly, it seems like a more comfortable mounting point if you're going to use a lanyard anyway. So,
Agreed.
cool.
We'll have to ask Black Frost in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to unnecessarily lanyard stuff. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
For the record, I didn't say that. Just the fact that he is a lanyard enthusiast.
Oh no, I'll say it for sure. I got no problem saying it. I'm just looking at the lanyard hole on it and seeing. I don't know. I almost prefer a dedicated lanyard hole myself.
Oh, come on. Really? Why?
If it's done properly. And I'm not talking like bailout, because that's not done properly. But like if it's got actual even the dragonfly is not bad, where it just puts it into the back there type of thing, like it would be a screw hole or whatever.
Basically, maximize your clip height and have the lanyard hole somewhere below that kind of deal.
It always, for like just the post thing, it always has this vibe of there's a chance I could cut it if it leaks around forward. Or
This isn't clear in this particular picture, but that whole dark area in the middle of the knife there, that's actually the inside of the backspacer you're looking at.
So you can't get to the blade.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
The blade is, but you know what I'm talking about, where they try to
I
give
do.
you like lanyard feed hole to whatever on the back, and then all of a sudden it's just like, but if your lanyard flips forward.
Yeah, like if you were to try and use this for tying off a lanyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That are doing that are classifying like the back barrel spacer almost like a lanyard hole type of thing, and I'm like, you're just gonna slice the shit out of your lanyard if it flips forward, right?
It depends on how you attach your lanyard.
This is true.
If you're fitting your if you're making a loop and not attaching it to the knife, feeding that loop through and then feeding the lanyard back through itself, that's going to stay pretty tight on that pin and probably stay out of the way.
Extend it straight off the back of the handle type of idea. Yeah.
I personally prefer to tie my lanyard straight to those pins. So in my case, I'd have more chance of getting it cut because it's got a lot more room for it to move around and get pinned by the blade and stuff.
And when you say like, you know, has a chance to get cut off of that thing, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before you're probably redoing it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's just not ideal. I would say though that I would prefer even something like this to just having a single pin that you're putting stuff through.
It depends on the knife for me and how things line up. I've seen ones that they do it pretty well. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm going to have too much of an issue there. And I've also seen knives where I'm like, there's not a chance.
No way in hell. Yeah.
No.
There is one other size comparison that I want to throw up just because I thought it was kind of funny. It's another Delica comparison shot. Delica, sorry, Dragonfly. It makes the Mah-Hawk look absolutely huge by comparison, but this is actually a pretty thin knife. Like it's maybe native thickness, if that.
Spider Coat native.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Back here though. Yeah. Okay, maybe not quite that thin. Maybe like a hair thicker, but not by much.
If it is thicker, it's only to house the spring, right?
Yeah. All in all, I think like it's relatively hand filling. It's not like. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to a certain size, you almost need that thickness though. Like the Dragonfly can get away with it because of how small it is, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with anything mini griptilian sized, full griptilian sized, whatever it may be, it's almost like you need a little more ergonomics. For myself personally, when I've held a knife that's that big and that thin, I find them somewhat uncomfortable compared to something with a little more contouring, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, unless the knife is wide enough. Just gonna say, I'm okay with this guy. Just because it's not going to shift around or rotate, but that's because of that dimension too.
But I still think as far as heavy duty work goes, even your holdout isn't going to compare to like a griptilian.
Oh,
comfort wise, absolutely not.
No.
As far as the contouring, the ergos.
Yeah, no, I'd much rather have something 3D machined if possible, or at least just thicker. Yeah.
Can we go back to a comment that you made, Joe, about the texture?
Yeah, sure.
We can now.
Yeah. Sure, why not? Why not?
So you were saying you didn't like the feel of it.
No, I really don't.
I kind of know what you mean. But at the same time, my initial thought with this knife, as soon as I picked it up and handled it, was, oh, that's pretty grippy in hand. I don't think it's going to keep that grip. But
it's some pretty fine texture, yeah.
And quite honestly, I prefer fairly smooth grips on a lot of my knives. So I'm not necessarily counting that as a bad thing. And I kind of like the idea of a knife that, like, when you first buy it and you're kind of, it's a new knife. I always cut myself with a new knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having a little bit of extra grip that slowly fades away doesn't seem like a terrible idea to me.
No. And to be clear, it looks good.
Yeah.
In still images, it doesn't really do it justice. If you've ever seen video of this knife, it does have kind of that sort of shimmer that you would see on something like a marble flecked carbon fiber. Obviously not the same sort of deal, but you are getting that difference in refraction and reflectivity because of the lines going in different directions as well as the smooth flats. It's
definitely a look they're going for.
It's the best looking plastic they've produced so far. Maybe outside of like the burlap canvas textured the Flipper CEO. I really like the texture on that handle.
Yeah. I was going to call it papyrus.
Yeah. Yeah, papyrus texture.
Yeah.
Oh man, they should have had the name CEO, but like done in papyrus font on the knife. It'd be terrible.
And I'm trying to remember. I think it was called the Hootenanny. Had
Oh yeah,
good swirl texture to the handle as well. An older Ken Onion that's not
Yeah.
around anymore. right?
the
So,
Hoot Nanny's a sick knife. I should have picked one up, even if it was only ACR. This is just
we
a
need
nice
to
knife.
talk about your definition of sick knife. Jesus Christ, you're talking about
The
sick.
Right.
ergos on that thing and the opening action were amazing. If it was made out of anything other than ACR, I'd be, yeah, kicking myself a little harder.
I think if this knife had like G10 handles, I'd be pretty goddamn tempted.
Dude, you know, if somebody comes out with aftermarket scales in G10 or like real carbon fiber for this thing, I can't think of too many reasons why I wouldn't want to buy one.
This is not. I'm genuinely curious. Does anybody make aftermarket scales for CRKTs?
Yeah,
Is that a market?
Yeah, Titanium makes killer scales.
No shit. Yeah, I guess so.
M16s, the pillars. I've seen CEOs, and there was another one, a somewhat recent design.
Squid.
The
Titanium
squid,
does
yeah.
Squid designs too.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do Squid XM designs, but we'll see. So
Yeah, I
We
don't
talked
know.
about that. That literally means extra medium, right?
yeah, I think. All right.
Makes me want to tear my eyes out.
I don't know.
It's god awful.
Apparently, Dick Richards has the Thompson Voyager serrated in his shirt pocket.
In the shirt pocket. Fair enough, man. Shit. Yeah, I think we covered most of the important things. Ergos are decent. The size is pretty okay. The action's good.
Price point.
One
Price
last.
is good. Price
Yeah.
point's good on this thing.
Sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
I said price point's good on this thing. Now I keep on wondering where CRKT is getting their price points from. Because they're all over the fucking place.
Yeah, so about that, I'm just going to bring up the page for the Mah-Hawk and one or two other things. So, the Mah-Hawk listed for 68 American. That's really decent for what this is. D2, really well hollow ground. And sure, FRN handles, but a liner lock with a kick and assist. Like, I don't know. Everything that they're putting forward here is pretty decent.
But then, wait. Let's talk about a James Williams knife.
I was gonna talk about a Fox Blackout, but yeah, we can talk about James Williams too.
Dude, we can
Oh,
talk
no,
about
like
the
even-
full-sized M16 with a deadbolt. That thing's
And the deadbolt is costing money. Money
Yeah.
to make a deadbolt. They're not giving that thing away cheap, that's for sure.
What did
Anything with a deadbolt is just stupid money.
So are we talking about the deadbolt James Williams design, or are we talking about the fixed blade?
I think
Yeah.
he's talking about
Yeah.
the fixed blade.
The fixed
No,
blade?
I was talking about the deadbolt.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Folder. Yeah, their fixed blade's overpriced too, but I mean, yeah, the new folder is stupid amounts of money. Like,
So 120 American for D2, G10, and a deadbolt, comparatively speaking to the Mah-Hawk. The other deadbolt knives they have, like the M16 that I didn't get, because that's the mid-size. That's going to be closest in comparison, I think. Oh no, I thought that'd be faster. There it is. So the spear point that I'm all too excited to get is also $120, but it's machined aluminum. I mean, I think G10's actually more expensive, so I don't know. This guy's kind of pricey too, if I'm being honest. But
Well,
having handled the full size, I'm kind of okay with the price point.
It does seem well made.
Like surprisingly solid. But the thing I wanted to bring up by comparison, so not that much smaller than the Mah-Hawk. Like the Mah-Hawk's overall length, well, we'll just look at blade length, 3.19. The Fox Blackout is a 2.74-inch D2 blade with G10, and they're asking 75 American for it. That's for switching up to G10.
Apparently, Fultz has a hell of a good deal going with CRKT as far as contracts go.
Yeah,
I imagine is probably.
that's probably a big part of it for sure. And sure, this is DLC coded, still spring assisted.
Is anybody else like completely bamboozled by the size of this knife?
Oh yeah, the thing's well. Dennis hasn't
I
been
thought
able
it was
to
a
handle it yet.
full-size knife.
Yeah,
Which knife?
the Fox Blackout.
Fox.
This so it's actually like sizably smaller than the Mah-Hawk. Like the Mah-Hawk is a comfortable 4-finger grip. This is like a 3.5 almost, if not like just a 3-finger grip.
Like at the same size or maybe slightly smaller than the Kershaw. What's his name? Is it Martin?
Scallion.
No, I was thinking the all blacked out little RJ Martin.
Oh,
Okay. The
yeah.
our tactical.
Yeah.
Big old RJ. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this thing's a really killer price for what it is, especially when Griptilians cost as much as they do. Just putting that out there.
And apparently, it's
Hey, man.
plastic.
It's 30s a dying breed. It's expensive. Okay.
Handle materials go a long way in the CRKT world. Apparently, like it's
They do.
Yes,
aluminum versus
absolutely.
plastic versus G10 versus whatever type of like stainless steel. You look at the new faucet that came in with D2, but it's stainless steel handle, and they're like, no, it's still cheap. Like it's
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That one still feels kind of cheap in hand too. I'm not gonna lie. We can talk about that knife another time too. You okay, Paul?
Yep. I'll
Okay.
survive.
Well, that's good, I guess. Dude, appreciate it.
I guess he says. I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like on the floor.
Please don't. Hey, we got anything else to say about this bad boy, or we kind of run it into the ground?
I haven't handled it, so I'll probably have more feedback next week when I get back in town. But until then, yeah. Seems like
I liked it more than I expected, which is something I say often about new CRKTs. I often also promise that I'm probably going to buy one of these, and then I never do. So I'm not going to say that with this.
Yeah. We're still waiting for you to buy an EV.
Yeah. Or the Pilar 3, or I'm sure there's a couple others in there.
See,
Yeah.
this knife is kind of fidgety gimmicky, but it's not gimmicky enough for me, so I'm not going to say I'm going to buy it. But again, who knows, if there's carbon fiber handles that I can buy for relatively inexpensive, then
Yeah.
I'd be
An
tempted.
upgraded handle would definitely potentially sway me
And
towards
this
this
is pretty prime for an upgrade. Now I don't know what the contract is like, obviously, but this would be prime material for like a micarta upgrade, and then give it S35 VN, like how they've done with the CEO.
And then make an exclusive that no one can get. All right. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, guys. We did it.
But I don't think this is going to have titanium aftermarket parts anytime soon. I do not think the Mah-Hawk is going to be.
I don't think it's going to Pilar itself out there.
No, as much as like people talk up Liang Ma's work, which is really fantastic work, and I love his designs. I don't see this having the same kind of popularity. No. Maybe it's because it's a little too niche. Maybe because it's the Kiridashi blade, and I'm heavily biased. I don't know.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out to CPM in chat. What up?
Hey,
Anyway,
what you carrying, my dude? We're just about done giving out our 7s to this Mah-Hawk here. Our tepid meh. No, I think this is an excellent knife for the money.
Enthusiasm, Joe, would you say it's a 7?
No, I'm more excited about this thing than I am over a lot of Civivis. Sure, it's plastic injection molded handles, sure, but I don't know. There's a shit ton more character in this knife than a lot of those. Oh, great! It's another D2 blade with flat G10 handles and ball bearings and a flipper. I don't know. A lot of the designs start to feel very samey to me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's picking on CRKT a bit, but I really like just that it actually looks and feels dramatically different from other knives they've done.
Like, we all crap on that idea that they're samesies, but then we all buy, the Voxnez designs end over end. And
Well, I'm like, you just described an Elementum.
Described a what, sorry?
You just described an Elementum. So, yeah.
Yeah. But I also don't own an Elementum. And I probably never will.
Quick shout out to BB in chat. What up?
Hello, hello.
BB, thanks for joining us. We were chatting a little bit earlier here. The 18 Leon Mah. I'm not sure which model that is, CPM, but it'll be an S90, which I approve those things.
I'm always down for some S90.
Hell yeah.
I've been eyeballing a Lanny mid-tech for a while now, one of the Leon Mah ones.
Do you think you're going to pull the trigger someday soon, Dennis?
I don't know if one comes my way, maybe, but there's a lot of wish list stuff going on. So
Right.
Is it weird to say that the Lanny kind of has a similar feel to me as the Chavez designs?
yeah, big square blocky. Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's a weird thing. No, I could agree with that.
And apparently the 18 is an anniversary knife.
Oh, okay.
Is he turning 18? Can he vote now? Can he drink? It's BC. It needs to be 19 in this province. It's stupid.
Boo! So Dennis hasn't had any liquor in a while. No, as he's drinking his beer.
Don't know how old you think I am.
I was calling you a child who's lived a very hard life.
Then let him have his beer. He's had a
That's
hard
not
life.
an untrue statement, but
Is
still,
that two
dude.
today?
No, but it was close. Only one for you, damn it.
It's all right. It only took, the better part of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, I don't think I'll give the enthusiasm a 7 on this one, but, we'll play.
I don't know if
with
I'd say my enthusiasm's a 7 either on this one, but I definitely think that while it may not be the one for me, I can definitely see it being the one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And CPM is saying that the Leon Mah 18 is the best looking knife to date. And I don't know, man. I'm bringing it up right now just to see.
Best looking knife or best looking Leon Mah?
I'm pretty sure best looking Leon Mah. I'm gonna pray that's what he means.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably, yeah.
Gonna say I'll try and bring up a picture here.
I was trying to, but I have hotel internet, so that's a good time.
Okay.
So is it up on his websites or?
Okay, Dick Richards put up a post about long, hard life builds character or create sociopathic tendencies. It can be both things.
It can be two things. Why shouldn't it?
Two things.
Why shouldn't it?
Yep. You got to defensively throw that in there as fast as possible, of course. Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually seeing. Maybe it's on his blog? No, this is just about the L1. Which, to be fair, is also a very cool looking knife.
But regardless, yeah, coming up soon for any of the boys.
Yeah.
So, we talking about other things tonight?
Yeah, I've got I've got my inbox. I'm ready to search for emails.
I can save you the trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. We can
You
get
just
through
go
one
to-
topic at least before we go.
We can just go to Schrade's website.
Schrade's website.
Oh yeah. I think I know what's going on here.
Uh-huh.
You're saying this as if it's a place I've ever visited.
All right.
I'm just
Is it purple text or blue, Joe? Is it purple text or blue?
it's green for me right now, but
That's weird.
does it randomize the color depending on who's looking at it? That's fine.
I don't know. I was asking about the URL. If the URL was purple.
Oh.
So-
I thought you were talking about the banner colors.
Yeah. Go to knives,
All right. Oh,
and then I think it's alpha is the line we're looking for.
Sure is. Sure is.
okay.
They
yeah.
spoiled this on Knife News. So if you read Knife
Sure
News,
did.
you'll know about this shit.
So were we talking about the whole lineup, or is there a specific model you wanted
Well,
to?
I mean, the whole lineup in general, yeah. If you look at the MSRPs on them,
They're all made in the States. So
Absolutely.
therefore it's entirely justified without knowing who's making them for them, or if this is in the original Schrade plant, or
You took it one step further and actually looked at their website.
well, quite honestly, the thought that came to my mind when I first heard that they had made this turn was, it sounds like Schrade's trying to get bought out by GSM Outdoors.
yeah, it sure is.
But if you click on one of them, even that first Hawkbilly looking thing,
Sure.
or Warren Cliffy looking thing,
the Radoc.
yeah, that
Is it
thing.
lock folder, huh? To an image I can't even zoom in on.
It's a pivot lock.
But
Is that marbled
Look at
carbon
the-
fiber?
Merbled.
Marble.
Okay.
Carbon fiber. Tesca, fuck.
You should,
F35VN.
yeah.
240 American for a Axis. I'm sorry, pivot lock folder with S35 and Fruber.
So the materials are right. Whether or not they're built to any kind of standard that's worth actually looking at is another story. But
Well, okay, so yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's just like might change my answer when I actually handle one. But just because you put fancy shit into a piece of
So-
shit.
Okay, but here's the thing: I don't know whether Schrade has actually had any facilities in operation within the last 10 years. I honestly don't know if they've produced stuff in the States since they were originally sold to Taylor Brands. Like, pretty much immediately, everything was shipped to China, wasn't it?
Yeah, but if you get them made in the same factory that Boker USA is being made in, like
But that's just it. I want to know which factory they're using if they're not using their own.
who knows, right?
yeah, I'd much rather the Boker USA than like say Buck
say, Buck. Yeah,
Buck.
yeah.
or somebody else.
Buck doesn't normally
No, of course not.
subcontract type of thing, whereas I know that, yeah.
They make enough money making their own shit.
Or what was the guys that were down from the tech that was making the USA made shit just recently, Boker Autos or something.
Was that Heretic Knives? Who was
Yeah.
doing their stuff?
I think it's Heretic down in Texas. Yeah.
That sounds correct.
I just want to point out the fact that CPM said the fact that it's Schrade makes me nervous, and that's exactly how I feel.
Dude. Yeah.
You can sprinkle diamond dust on a piece of crap. Doesn't mean that it's anything but a piece of
But on the flip side, I would much rather them make a quality product than a shitty one. So I am hoping that
Man, it would be hilarious if you actually picked this thing up and it was actually like nice enough to be like, holy crap, they did a good job. But
I would
mean-
love Charade to make a massive comeback, but you can understand our skepticism.
I saw a 20 CV fastball. Is that the cleaver from Gerber? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Was the
I've seen
fastball the
20
cleaver?
CV.
Anyway.
I've seen the 20 CV version. It's still made by Gerber. I've seen S35 American-made bucks. They
But I've seen
should.
some really nice S35 American-made bucks as well.
You bet. Yes. Yeah. Not to slag on them completely, but I mean, yeah, just because you throw a $249 price point or $269 or whatever, and throw a bunch of materials in it until you're actually handling this knife, who knows, right?
Yep.
And maybe they're making the comeback. Maybe they're trying to.
I would love to have some like old timer knives by Schrade in some decent materials.
They revived their
Dude.
American-made Uncle Henry's.
Fuck
They would
yeah.
sell a shit- They would sell a
Dude,
shit
they
ton.
would put GEC out of business. Or they would force them to up their prices to seem more premium.
I don't know. I don't know if you could hook them in. I think there's more to that on branding. I think the boys who want American-made trades don't want to pay American-made trade prices anymore.
But that's what I mean. So a stockman that would run you 120 American from GEC would probably only run you 80 or 90 from Schrade.
That's still too much money for the old boys. Buy $25 Uncle Schrade. Come on.
You want
Uncle
them?
Schrade? Come on.
I guess they want them to be the same
But you can make-
440A kind of. Yeah.
You can make both.
You could make both.
But that's what Buck's doing, except they're making all that other shit in China.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You make all the other crap overseas. You keep that going because people are
But
still
for-
buying those things. We're still in fucking business.
But for the boys that were willing to pay 80, 100, 120 for a traditional, do you think the name Schrade is going to get them?
If they're
That gonna
American
be
made
the brand
Shrades,
that hooks them
okay,
in?
but if they build this whole story about, oh yeah, we set up our original Schrade factory, we got a lot of the equipment back, we're making those things back in the US just like we did in 1870 whatever. Dude, if they were able to spin it like that, they would sell a fuck ton of knives.
Yeah.
I think you might have a slow start, but if they actually were putting out a quality product,
That's the kicker. They'd have to get their knives in the hands of,
Like-
of reviewers, for instance. But
me and Joe
Oh.
bought a bunch of the Rough Rider pocket knives, expecting them to be only okay at best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've
Sure.
been really nice. So
But I think it's not even a case of like rebranding. It's almost a case of like building your brand again to a new market type of like
100%.
yeah,
because you haven't convinced the new.
The thing is, though, is that
market.
they'll have the name recognition already. So now all they got to do is convince the guys that. That's why I say, as an addition to the company, it makes sense. To go completely all American made makes no sense because they'll
Yeah, no.
alienate all the people that are buying them right now.
yeah.
But
I think their margins are so good for their Chinese made stuff. There's no way they
That's
would
what I
abandon that side of the business.
No, but even if they only make 1,000 of these, or 2,500 or something like that over the year, because that's all that people are actually asking for, that's still 2,500 people that are going to go, hey man, check this out. Can you believe this is a charade? Or check this thing out. This thing fucking sucks. And it'll last 2 years and it'll go away.
Yeah, I can see it.
But I don't expect good things, but I can hope for them.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it sits, right? Like it's
I mean, that looks like a tactical Sabenza.
The Entice, the auto, yeah. I hate to say it, but that's actually probably my favorite looking one out of the bunch.
I didn't
be
realize
honest,
it was
it's
an
the weird
auto.
one
I was
that's
looking
like
at
the
that
weird-
one when you had the 5 models up. I was looking at it, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was auto. Yeah.
Deep index finger choil, relatively straight handles, a drop point blade. Yeah, of course I'm interested, but
I should actually comment as well. Dennis made the comment before that he read the article but didn't actually click the link. That's about as far as I got. I clicked the link, saw the price, saw the materials, and was like, we'll leave this the rest of this for later.
Appreciate it.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's still Schrade.
That's the biggest concern. Absolutely.
That article roped me in about as much as when I heard Case was making modern knives. That roped me in about an equal amount to that shit.
Really?
And I
So
was like,
kind of like a holy shit, really? But
that's a thing. All right, move on.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Their new Schrade Emblem is very weird. It's like NS that's been cut in half and then put, so it's now a box.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
little
what that intention is.
it's a little strange.
I love CPM's comment. That's awesome. Probably the best thing I've heard tonight.
Entices to
Entices to entice you to
paper.
pay for a bad knife.
I mean, you're probably right, which is discouraging, but but like Paul was saying, it's good to hope. It's good to, have some positivity if you can.
Dude, I don't need a sharp finger doesn't need to be super fancy. Make it an SK5 and I'll be a happy man.
Nah, man, S90V. While we're dreaming.
Well, Paul's more right than Joe is, but you're both kind of wrong. It's
The sharp finger, no one's right. I know that
Hey, man.
I know that knife has a cult following, and
That was one of the first hunting knives I ever bought.
I think that could be truly said for a lot of people. It's
I will say that one of my go-to hunting knives is actually a very sharp finger-ish looking knife with S90V. So
It sure is. It sure is, and I want that knife, but I'll never get it, so that's okay.
Which one are we talking about right now?
Oh, my Cheeson Custom? Is it sharp fingerish with S90?
Yes, with the hidden tag.
It might have a hidden
good
tag.
knife.
It's a secret. I won't tell.
That thing's
Well, I was going to
way-
say the one with the purple bicarta, but you have at least two of those.
Yes, I do. Everyone's EDC axe. It's called a Contigo.
Oh, you said
Oh.
EDC. I was going to grab a Trailmaster, but you said EDC.
Yeah, so Contigo.
EDCX?
Yeah.
The fact count?
No. Kind of. Got a
I've,
similar face to it. Yeah.
I've chopped with it.
Can I lash it to a stick?
Yes. Terrifyingly enough, yes.
I want a baton with that so badly right now.
Oh, geez. The
Yeah.
RMJ Kestrel, good for you, dude. If you're packing that every day.
God damn. I'm gonna bring that up. That's
Indeed.
not a small
Thank
little boy.
I'll match you that with my Spartaco Sable Hawk. It's
That's terrifying, dude. Why do you have that with you every day?
You know why.
I know exactly why, but I just want to hear it.
I mean, it's a good, like,
for breaching.
church-going tomahawk.
It's like a little fireman's axe looking thing, just thinned out, slimmed out,
Yeah.
It's a cool looking piece for sure.
It's a breaching tool.
It's my Sunday axe.
Yeah. You know, when I'm lounging.
Jesus would approve. It's fine.
It's my sweat. It's my sweatpants axe. I'm lounging around the house.
I'm not going to go into what I consider my sweatpants axe. That's a whole different conversation, I think.
Somebody said something about an OnlyFans earlier. I don't think now's the time for that announcement. So
Yep,
No, I think it might be.
that's a different live stream. That's
Sunday axe.
All
Sunday
right.
axe, best axe.
I think that almost rounds us out. It's more or less.
Quite.
Yeah.
An axe for every day of the week. Wow. I can do it. That means I'd have to start carrying a different axe every day.
Like,
I don't
do
even
you?
want to carry an axe in one day? Come on.
Nobody wants to carry an axe.
Eh,
I assume you
want
have
to
a
carry an axe every day. It's just so not socially acceptable where I live.
I also don't want to deal with carrying an axe every day. I like the idea of it, but the reality would, man.
You
So,
just make a good frog, Joe. Come on.
No, I'd rather carry a small sword if I'm going to carry 4.5 pounds.
Fair.
I'm also not going to.
It's a really heavy small sword.
Because that's the same topic. It's
Well, small sword. I'm thinking one of the heavy triangular cross-section blades. Do I have mine here? No, I don't. I think it's still at my parents' place.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Oh well. Maybe next time. Maybe that'll be my ADC for next week.
It won't. Merely my Cinquedia.
All right. I think that just rounds us out for the night.
I think
I'm
so.
okay with that. I've got convention, anime, Comic-Con nerds that I got to deal with for another 24 hours. So
I resemble that remark, and I hate it.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
I saw some sort of weeb T-shirt that made me think of you. I don't know. I can't even remember what it said, but
I hate that. I hate that so much.
the booth itself said the T-shirt that caught my attention was actually "My mother is sad with my life choices." Is the T-shirt that made me laugh and stopped me dead, and then I saw some other T-shirt about a weeb. But yeah,
That's awesome.
my mother is sad with my life choices made me chuckle, and I almost bought it. It's yeah.
Before we go, one of my favorite memes. It might take a second to load for you guys, but
You're terrible. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
EB, Brandon, thanks for joining us, brother. Always
Indeed.
good to
Cheers.
talk to you, man.
I am such a weeb that I know exactly what that meme is sourcing from as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a Korean webcomic. It's actually not Japanese at all. Isn't that fun?
It's racist. Not you.
Oh,
Thanks for the good wishes, Stanson. Yeah, hopefully you'll be home in a couple days. Back to the not beautiful weather that I'm currently in. Even the rain today, didn't care. It was beautiful. Yeah, so.
I hope you step on a Lego.
I hope
maybe.
Devin
They got
snacks
this like
you in
giant
the middle of the night.
oversized killer whale that looks like it's made out of Lego. So maybe if it gets struck by lightning and fall apart, then maybe. So
I'm hereby commissioning Devin to put an orange in a sock and just smack you silly with it. Preferably.
in a sock. Okay.
Huh.
Well, I think the closest thing to
Just a bar
that
soap.
in our hotel room is a bottle of orange juice, and so
Fine, I hope he empties a bottle of orange juice into a sock and then smacks you with it.
a wet orange juicy sock.
Yep. Enjoy that.
Like a fresh sock or a worn sock?
I don't care.
It's fair.
What's the closest thing to the juice? Obviously, is yeah.
Yeah, I don't care if it's the one you're wearing. Just take it off and use that. That's weapons of opportunity, boys. Orange juice and socks.
All right, gentlemen. All right. Thanks to the Cutting Edge. Got some new CRKT stuff, so we appreciate you letting us play with stuff. I will, as soon as I get home. I guarantee it. I will play unnecessarily with a whole bunch of things. So,
Including the Mah-Hawk.
including the Mah-Hawk. And then I'll tell you what my enthusiasm is. But as of right now, I'm going to give it 3/4 of an anime nerd. And
That's too much of an anime nerd.
That's way too much.
because I had to dispose of the other
Oh my.
third of
Quarter?
the
He probably
that?
begged you to use a katana at the end, didn't he?
It wasn't that good. It was the Halo Energy sword.
Well, the balance was still good though, right?
Of course, the balance was right on that particular fantasy weapon.
Oh my
So-
god. Okay.
All right, I guess join us over on the YouTubes. If you're not liking and subscribing already, continue to do so. We appreciate the support.
Indeed. And follow us on Instagram. I'm going to continue not posting things because people seem to appreciate it.
We've had more followers not posting anything than we have posting
Yep.
things. So
I'm going to be honest. It's starting to hurt my feelings.
I was gonna say you better post something this time.
Nope.
God damn it, Paul.
I got a good thing going here. We got to ride this wave.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, speaking of things I don't like.
Maybe stories. Maybe stories will help us. Not actual posts, just 24-hour posts that go away.
To be honest, I'll probably post something about the Mah-Hawk because it's new.
It's a new knife. It's been a while. Anyway, also on Patreon, guys, we talked about Christmas. We talked about Valentine's Day. We are going to give you a thank you because we really do appreciate your contributions, and we're just going to give everything back to you guys. So look forward to that when we do actually get that all figured out because we're all bad at procrastinating shit like that. So, yeah.
Indeed.
I think that just about sums us up for the evening here, guys. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Probably another CRKT knife to review. Yeah, that being that, I am who I am, guys. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
XL.ca.
Thanks once again for joining us, guys. Thanks again to Cutting Edge, and take care. See you next week.
Toodle.
Who's Hawk? It's Mah-Hawk.
Oh,
Boo, 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 boo.
low hanging fruit.
I think we were
I'm
talking
gonna,
about
I'm
that
gonna
earlier.
tell Leon Ma you said that about his knife.
Oh.